Alright, this is for assignment 6, and I'm going to get this running first so you can see it. And I have a sphere, the cube, and the pyramid. And then I also have the terrain working. And that's all working how it's supposed to, and the cube is shining up top because of the point light that we have on the scene. So we have that. And basically for the unit box, when I first did it, I did it by hand. So that's what this is all about. And then once I did the pyramid, I ended up just making a math tool. So like how we have it set up in, or going to have it set up in our engines class, I decided to just make a math tool so that I could use compute normal anywhere if needed. And this one specifically, I use it for the pyramids and for the sphere. So then I put them in, compute the normal, then inside the normal I set it also, and then I'll set each normal like it's supposed to be. So that's how I did the pyramid. And then for the sphere, once I have everything figured out inside the p-verts, I go through each p-verts to the very end and setting each normal to what its normal is supposed to be here. And then in my terrain, I'm using the math tool. And right before I'm setting the vertices to make the triangle, I'm computing the normal and setting it for those vertices. Which gets us this. And you can see that it still goes around to the back. And then we also have... I almost forgot about this one. Here we go. The skybox. Now this will look pretty weird, and it's not supposed to shine on it, but right now it is, just because I wanted to make sure that I could get the skybox to show normals it's supposed to. As it's going around, it's hitting it like it's supposed to. I know that you're not supposed to have light on the skybox, but I want to make sure that I could get the normals working inside of it. That. For a second one, we're supposed to do texture with light, so I took our old texture shader that we made from assignment before, and I added on the light texture to it. So now we have the normal and the text coordinates in here. And I'm adding the light parameters to it and all the functions that go with it, which is all this stuff here. And then in the HLSL file, it's basically all the same. It's the cam data is still the same. The biggest difference was returning the input I put into a struct, so then it still is easier to see right here. Adding the text coordinates so it matches the input assembler, and then leaving, I return the light color times the main text multiplier. And then if we run this one, just because they're all the same texture and some of them aren't UV'd, just to make sure that it works, that it's still showing the light on them and it's working correctly. And the last one, I have two spotlights, and they're both different colors, but they're from the same shader. So it's dark. So then we have one showing a regular light on the back, and then we have one that is showing the blue light that is also showing on the sphere and the cube and the pyramid, and then you also see it in the back. And then basically for this, it's the same thing. I have a spotlight, and if we go spotlight, we have a spotlight 1 and a spotlight 2, so then they can have their own range and all that stuff. And then I also have a second uh, function for Spotlight's 2's parameters. So I add all these here, and then I took out all the other stuff and just added another Spotlight data. So then this will be added when it's needed. And then in here, I just go and set it to whatever numbers I want. So here I have it being more blue. And then this one's just the normal light, how we have ours set up. So then I can still set everything like it's supposed to, and we won't have the directional light, but we'll have 2 spotlights, which once again is what we saw from this light and the blue light here. And then I did not get to the question in the book with the toon shading. From what it looks like, just skimming it, that depending on what the diffuse and the specular is, you set to a specific number, so then you only have like 3 types of technically like quote unquote shades. So you either have like dark, medium, and then right under brightness, so there's right under the lightest that you can have, and there's nothing in between that you can. So it's either 3 types of shades and that's it. But I did not get to it this week. But it looks really interesting though, honestly.